and maybe that was just because the Game Boy Advance is more similar to the Super Nintendo than anything, I guess. So if you want more F-Zero action and you haven't played Maximum Velocity or GP Legend, both of those run on a very similar engine, and I can at least highly recommend Maximum Velocity. I've played and beat it and really enjoyed it. Fantastic tunes and graphics in that one as well. So I would check out. There's a way I can boost ahead of one of those guys and then quickly slide over and let him give me a butt bump to bump up my speed, but I haven't pulled off yet because I'm kind of not concentrating. In the time attack, that's one of the methods you use to get a fast start, is to select a rival, race against a rival, and then use him to bump your speed up right at the beginning, so that you don't have to spend as long accelerating to your top speed. So, yeah. See, I mean, again, I love this track too. And nobody really talks about this particular track. Wait, what track am I on right now? I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Deathwind? I don't know. Sorry, getting a little distracted. It's hard to keep track of the chat and fully pay attention to the game while I'm giving my thoughts on it. But hey, at least I'm still in first. Well, will be in first place. So now things are getting a little bit tougher because you got some of those tricky U-turns. And what's cool about this is you don't have to brake a lot in this game. What you do, and maybe for people who haven't spent a lot of time playing this, at least this is what I do, is if you tap the accelerator, it sort of, if you watch the speed as I'm tapping the accelerator, it sort of like feathers the gas, so you don't lose a bunch of speed like you're braking. It just sort of keeps your speed about pretty constant, and allows you to sort of bump your way through turns. I don't know a better way to describe it. If I had the words, I'm sure I could. But see, watch this. So I can kind of take this wide and then bump, sort of skid my way through it through use of the shoulder button, which allows you to tilt or lean, and then the feathering the accelerator. So I try not to use the brake at all, but I can't remember if I'm thinking in the later levels you do have to brake somewhat. I should probably use my boosts. And that's another reason why it's really fun to play, because if you're good at it, you really have to slow down very little in this game. And that's the ideal thing for a futuristic racing game, since speed would be paramount, as opposed to something like Gran Turismo, where it's more about realism. This is more about just that sense of speed. Okay, that was kind of a random use of the old boost. Sorry, that's not gonna be too good. But you can see, you can hear it when I do that accelerator technique. It's boom, 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 and that's me using that instead of a brake. I think after this track, I will call it quits and move on to the next game, since we spent a bit of time with this one. But I might as well finish it out here. I think this was probably the first Super Nintendo game I played, and if not, among the first, because I had a friend who I made friends with this kid when I moved to a new school, and I found out that he had a Super Nintendo, so I came over and played that with him, and that was my first exposure to the Super Nintendo. We only had a Nintendo at that time, and he had, a lot of the launch titles like Mario World and this. He didn't have Pilot Wings, I don't think, but there you go, first place, pretty easy. And he had Final Fantasy II as well, which I played, but I think among the first games I played was this or Super Mario World, so maybe that's why I'm so impressed with the game, and it remains one of my favorites. With any type of top 10 list, there's a heavy amount of bias, and I don't deny that, so. Looks like I had a new record. Good for me. Let's see, I'm going to put on the next game here, and let the music play for a little bit, since it's a really good intro track. Just see what's going on in the chat here. Not a ton of people tonight, but we still got a handful of you guys, so thanks for showing up. It's always fun when there's, at least a few people here. Oh, that track, that was Sand Ocean. Sorry, totally spacing. Just a second, something's going on in the chat. There we go, okay. Sorry, let me get caught up in the chat. Good thing Chrono Liver texted you, Beauty. I try to just, basically keep the spamming of this to Facebook, and then, I know everybody gets an email when I start broadcasting, so I tried to start a little bit early and give people time to get the email and to join up. This track in the background here is perhaps one of the most famous Super Nintendo or even role-playing game intro screens of all time. William the Bard said somebody should do a 2-player PC port of F-Zero, and that would be awesome. I doubt anybody has the time to dedicate to that, but that would be awesome. Wait, I don't understand why Fox Dragon said favorite games my ass. Please clarify about your favorite games comment, please. And I did not know that there was snaking in the original F-Zero. Yeah, I knew that it was very prevalent in GX, but wow, I admit ignorance on the original F-Zero. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, okay. I didn't know the name of the level I was on, and so yeah, favorite game. I should know it in and out. Like I said, it's more of a distraction. I don't know, but you know, I can't claim to have played all 10 of these games inside and out. But that doesn't prevent me from putting my top 10 list. So that's that. I don't know that the H Tanaka is not Hip Tanaka. It is a different one. I was just reading about this. I can't remember right now, but I think he was he was a game designer, not a music guy, if I'm mistaken. So yeah. So here we go, Secret of Mana. This is one I kind of had to think about because I was like, is this really still one of my top 10 favorite games? And I don't. For some reason, there's a little bit of doubt there. I guess mainly because when I was playing it during the Super Nintendo Marathon, the combat felt like a little awkward. I was like, you know, has it aged that well? Is the combat system kind of not that great compared to some stuff nowadays? I don't know. But I went back and played it today actually just to make sure that it's still in my top 10s. And yeah, you know, it still is. Wait a minute, I picked the wrong one. No, I'm gonna pick a different save file. Sorry, that one doesn't have enough stuff. Here's my one that's at the end of the game, so I can show off more of this game. This is, I mean, just like with F-Zero, there's so many things that I love about this game, and I really, with any list where I make a top 10 and say this is my favorite games, I'm gonna love pretty much everything about it. Probably the thing that sticks out to me most is the soundtrack. I guess I'm just a sucker for music, so maybe that's, you know, my biggest bias with this list is soundtracks. But this soundtrack to me is good for so many reasons. A, because again, the samples are fantastic, and I'm pretty sure Hiroki Kikuta, and I was gonna ask him this, but when I saw him at MegFest, but I don't really like asking questions. I'm kind of a shy guy as far as being at panels and stuff. Anyway, I was gonna ask him if he made all his own samples for this game, because I have never heard any of these samples in any other Super Nintendo games. I think like he came with his own sample set and used them all exclusively for this and maybe the other Seiken Densetsu games. And that's what I love about it, is just you'll not get a soundtrack like this in any other Super Nintendo game, both for the use of samples and for the variety of music that you get, because, you know, there is a pretty good mix of music in this one. You know, from sort of laid back, chill tunes to more somber songs like the intro one, to some very like happy-go-lucky. Oh, my guy fell asleep. Happy-go-lucky tracks like the Dwarf Village one. Let's see if I can. I'll go there and show you that one. That's actually one of my favorites, just because it's so goofy sounding. But yeah, there's a really good variety of music in this here game. Not only that, but I feel like the graphics you won't see anywhere else either. It's just a really colorful, bright, well-animated game. I guess maybe not the best animation out of any Super Nintendo game, but still pretty damn good, and really a unique art style. and which is cool. The other things about this game, there's so many cool things going on. You've got the battle system is fairly unique. It's sort of like Zelda, but it's a lot more deep than Zelda, because you can charge up these weapons, right? So you can see my little charge meter down there. I mean, for those who have played this, you already know this stuff. But look, I've got different levels of charging abilities. So if I get it all the way up to 8, which you actually have to level it up by fighting enemies. So she does like a jumping multi-whip attack there. Or if I take it and level up to just say, let's just do like 3, and she'll just do a smaller version of that. So, and it changes for every weapon, which is really cool. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 different weapons. Every character can use them. But each character levels them up individually. It's just a really deep weapon system, which is awesome. I don't think any other game of this time had anything like that. And so you can see that she's got this like the boomerang type weapon. And each level you also level up through upgrades. You go get them forged and make different versions of the weapon. So here she goes. She's only got level 4 of the chakra. Well, actually, what is it called right now? The shuriken, but it looks like a chakra to me. I think it starts out as the boomerang, becomes a chakra, and all that stuff. So there's the really deep weapon system. There's the interesting, and again, you won't find this in any other game. Well, I've heard that like some AD&D computer game uses this, but the ring menu system. So rather than going to a separate screen, you just pull up the little ring menu. You can select different weapons. You can go change different settings. You use your spells. You use your items. The only thing I kind of don't like about the system is the way you have to cast spells, because you have to stop the action and then go to a spell, and then she doesn't. Let me use the dwarf, because it's got some offensive magic. So then you do that, and then you select your target, and then the spell gets cast. Boom. So I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it'd been nice if there was some way that like they could have incorporated it without stopping the action. Would have been pretty tough to do. I can't think of a way off the top of my head, but I guess that's the only sort of low point for me. So there's a lot to the combat system in general. Like, you know, you when you attack, you can see a little meter goes, and now I gotta wait for it to charge back up to 100. And there's also certain time you can hit enemies, so you can't just sit there and spam attacks like you're gonna keep missing them. So you have to time it properly if you hit them in the right spot as well. I'm changing back to main character here, the guy, which leads me to the next point, that another thing that's really great about this game is the 3-character party system, because you can switch in between them pretty easily. I just hit select, boom, and then I'm controlling different characters, and they all have some different spells and abilities and whatnot, and they level up their weapons independently. So it's pretty easy to do that. And then again, unprecedented for any adventure or role-playing game on the system, pretty much, is the ability to switch, or the ability to play up to 3 players. So like a multi-tap compatible adventure game. I don't think there was nothing else. Final Fantasy III did let you have multiple people controlling the characters within a battle, but really nobody ever did that, because it's really not that great. I gotta put the whip back on with her here. See, so like different weapons also function a little differently as far as navigating the areas, the terrain, so I have to use that to cross that gap. And then use swords and axes can cut down certain things and whatnot. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so it's a multiplayer game, pretty awesome. And one of my goals in life is to beat this game 3-player with friends, full playthrough. Myself and Moon and Night G and Jay Vincent do have a game saved on here, I think, right? Yeah, I should. And, oh great, they put her to sleep. And we're not too far though, so maybe we'll pick that up someday. We'd really love to finish a 3-player game on this, just to say we did it, just to really take advantage of that multiplayer functionality. Other great things about this game that are unique to it as well. Oh, I was thinking about something, no I can't. Sorry guys. Maybe if I just kill some